Why active X backs? Well, I'm going to break this down into 3 parts, and there's much more detail below this video in the text, including an image or 2. So the first thing is, why backs? Well, I had a back problem when I was an osteopathic student, eventually diagnosed as an L4-5 disc problem. And so I had a real personal interest, and it plagued me for 5 years, and so I've devoted my career pretty much to specialising in lower back pain and sciatica. And after all, it's an incredibly common problem affecting 4 in 5 adults at some time in their lives. That's 11 million adults in the UK alone. Can't do the maths for the number of people worldwide, but it is a lot of people affected by lower back pain and sciatica. So that's why backs. Secondly, why the X? Well, if you look around you, if you're in a room, there are other people around you, it is likely that those other people are sitting. And how are they sitting? They're sitting in a posture that draws their shoulders forwards. They're generally caved in, slumped in on themselves. And that's people who would like to think of themselves as sitting with good posture. Now the X, as depicted in our logo, the X is the antidote. It's the postural antidote to modern day living. People sit when they're on the way to work, on the way home from work, at work, in their pastimes. There's far too much sitting going on. And so the active X posture is about engaging your back muscles, engaging your gluteal muscles. And as I said earlier, there's a lot more in the text below about active Xing. Now, what about the active bit? Why active? Well, again, it's tied into this issue that people are far too inactive in their daily living. And fundamentally, if you think about things, everything that lives moves. Now, there are exceptions. Some of them move passively, like anemones just sit on a rock, but their little fronds are flowing backwards and forwards. But movement is life. As you age, you move less, you slow down, and eventually people die. So again, the antidote to that, not to death itself, but the antidote to inactivity is activity. Activity is incredibly important when it comes to healing and also about health, and much more about that in the text below. Including below that, we have a fair bit, or I have a fair bit of stuff about our other principles. Things such as growing or dying. So please read the rest of the text below, and I hope that I have been able to explain to you why we're called active X backs. And thank you, and look forward to seeing you sometime.